Welcome to the Fairly Relatable Podcast. You're thinking it, we're talking about it.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling great.
You're feeling great?
Yeah.
Is it the wine?
Yeah.
Wine time? Why not?
And why not?
Okay.
Well, I thought today we could talk about.
We're getting right into it.
We're going to just dive right into it.
Right into it.
Because why not?
Wine not.
Why not? We're moms.
We are moms.
You've been like repeating everything I've said so far. We decided tonight we were going to have some wine with our podcast filming.
I poured my glass into yours though. I think you feel better than I do right now.
No.
I think you're living your best life right now.
I'm also really shiny. You get shiny?
I think, yeah, but I don't know if anyone watches. So I don't think
anyone does, except the people that talk about our feet in the comments. But
that's true. Those people are watching.
You know what I just ordered on Amazon was those little like oil wipes where you just can like those little like sheets where you can like wipe.
But doesn't that take off your makeup? I'd rather just like put on powder.
I don't know. No, because the sheets almost have like a powder on them. So you can just like dab.
Okay, you'll have to show them to me.
Anywho.
When we go out tomorrow night for your birthday.
We're going to go out. We're going to go big.
So big.
Yeah.
So big.
As big as you can at 42.
Yeah. So as big as you can without feeling like shit the next morning.
That's the thing.
It's never worth it.
No.
But it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So bring us into this topic today.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the wise age of 42, and you're right behind me.
I have a couple months.
Yeah, you're right behind me. I think we have some wisdom we can impart on those navigating early motherhood. And if you're not navigating early motherhood, maybe you can just kind of
commiserate.
Exactly.
See what you agree with.
See what you agree with and what you don't agree with. I wanted to talk about things that if we could go back in time, things that we would have done different as a new mom. Because, and I know you get this, I was like incredibly overwhelmed. I mean, with my first, which was in 2017, so that would have made me like 35. I was so incredibly overwhelmed. That's the best word. It was like, and I'm still always overwhelmed. Like people are like, oh, you seem so chill. And it's like, no, I am. And I don't have that angsty anxiety, but I'm overstimulated a lot. But I dealt with postpartum, right? And I feel like you only know postpartum if you know it.
It's one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't say, I understand. No, if you haven't been there, you don't understand. Yes, I can relate. I had very severe postpartum with my first child.
Same. It was the first, yeah.
So we are both moms. We are both moms of two. Mm-hmm. We both have a son and a daughter. Mine are a little bit older than yours. Mm-hmm. But we're both in it, and we've both been there. So yeah, there's a lot looking back. And you know, when you see a brand new mom and they're struggling, you just want to step in and save them and embark, like, don't do what I did, do this, or like, this isn't what matters or whatever. But it's so hard being a new mom, and it's so hard listening to advice, I think, from other moms, because it's biological. It's like, it's biological, but it's also like the pain you're experiencing isn't just emotional. It's like physical.
100%. I can say something on that. But you know what gets me more than the moms who are struggling? It's the moms who aren't. When I see moms of like a new baby, first time mom, and they're just like, their life now has meaning, and I love this for them. Their life now has meaning, and they're so excited. They never put the baby down. Like, that was not me. I wish it was.
Do you know anyone that was?
Yes. And they'll say, these moms will say like, yeah, and you know, nights are hard. I'm up a lot at night, but it's like the only place they want to be is sitting in that chair with that baby. And I wish I'd had that.
Yeah.
With my second.
People. I had that more with my second, but then when you have your second, mine are exactly 2 years apart. So I also had a brand new 2-year-old. Mm-hmm. So you're very distracted and you don't have time to really like, I couldn't be in my head as much because I was busy with two.
Right.
And when you have kids that close in age, you're raising 2 babies, but they're just at different stages.
Yep.
It's very busy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to just compare yourself when you're a new mom and see other new moms, and some moms have more help, whether it be help that they bring on and they pay, or some people just have more involved families.
I mean, I had a super involved family and I still really struggled.
Yeah.
But something I did do different with my second was, and I have no shame admitting it, not even admitting, it's not an admission. I took an SSRI.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which one. It was whatever one is safe for
Breastfeeding.
Because it's a cost benefit analysis. You have to weigh it out. Like if I'm that depressed and that like anxious and overwhelmed and having intrusive thoughts about hearing my baby's head hit it was really, really bad. It was like that's interfere. It could potentially interfere with my bond with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, whatever. I'm going to trust my doctor because I love my doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a medication and I had a completely different experience the second time around.
Well, I think that's great. And I think you have to do whatever you need to do to make you feel better. The second time around, I chose to encapsulate my placenta.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Walk us through that.
I rationed. Well, I mean, do we want to go back to the first one and where we struggled, or do we just want to dive into?
I don't know. I kind of want to do a little pivot into the encapsulation of placenta. What does it involve and how much does it cost?
It cost me $200.
Oh, not bad.
And all that you do is, my second one was a C-section. So either way, you have them preserve the placenta, just brought a cooler and ice, and they put it on cooler and ice. Someone comes and they pick it up and they encapsulate it. And then you're just taking a pill. So I didn't drink it. I didn't chew it. I didn't taste it.
Here's one for you.
What?
How do you know it's
mine?
Yours.
Okay, well, I never had that thought till now. So we're just going to go with it was mine. It's disgusting. And I took it. And when I didn't have the postpartum, I didn't have the breastfeeding issues. I didn't have milk flow issues. My train of thought when I decided to do this was a mammal instinctively eats it.
So that predators don't find it. But yet
I'm speechless.
You maintain that there is a psychological benefit to ingesting your own placenta.
I felt so much better. And my doctor said to me, that's just a placebo effect, right? And I said, why would I care?
Why?
Why would I care if it's a placebo or not? If I feel better, then who gives a shit what effect this is? I feel better.
Right.
You can give me cotton balls, and if I feel better, it's a win.
Right.
It's a win for me.
An Altoid. I don't care.
I don't give a fuck what you give me if I feel better.
Right. Absolutely.
So, so that's what I did. But with my first one, like looking back, what I know as a second time mom, or what I know now, like a decade later, is I would just the pressure, being okay with the crying, just knowing it's temporary, being able to just sit in it.
That's hard.
I would have just asked for the help, pass the baby off. You don't have to do it all on your own. You don't have to be the one to figure it all out. And then for me, I needed to get on an SSRI. And
after delivery?
Yes. The one I was on that was safe wasn't effective. Okay. I needed to get on an SSRI that wasn't safe for breastfeeding. And my baby wouldn't stop crying. I had to strip everything from my diet. He was still crying. He had such bad digestion issues, and there's just so much going on. And there's so much now that, looking back, I could have checked this or checked that, or I know there's
what are the things?
I would have checked was he taking an ear when he was breastfeeding? Did he have a tongue tie? I could have gone to a body worker for him to help. And I didn't know all these things back then.
Right.
But what I would have taken off the pressure of breastfeeding.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
I would have just stopped
100%.
breastfeeding even sooner than I did, I would have given him, we gave him a specialized formula. I would have given that to him sooner. I would have, when I stopped breastfeeding, when I finally gave myself permission to stop breastfeeding and I got on the right SSRI, it was like I saw the sun again for the very first time. And he was happier.
Yep.
And I try to like let moms know, like, if you are miserable because you feel this huge guilt to not breastfeed or this huge need to breastfeed, like it's such crap.
So what do you have to
to
say to
me.
the people that like wave the banner of like breast is best?
Like nicely, what do I say? I mean, it's fed is best. And a mother's mental health,
Fed is best.
yeah, and a mother's
Yes.
mental health is so much more important than where that nutrition's coming from.
100%.
Is breast milk great? Absolutely. Is it great if it's really ruining you? Absolutely not. I remember I had a neighbor and she had twins and she owned it like from the beginning. She goes, "Oh, I'm not breastfeeding. I don't want to do that." And she felt no shame. She felt no embarrassment.
Good
She
for
felt no
her.
pressure. And I just thought, damn,
Good for her.
that is the confidence all moms should have. Like, I
Yep.
was never a mom that felt comfortable just breastfeeding in public. I wanted to be covered. I don't know. It was really, with my second one, I was able to breastfeed no problem. It was no issue. It was easy. She latched easy. It went easy. She wasn't miserable. So it was a much different experience for me. But with my first one, he wasn't latching. And in the hospital, they gave me a nipple shield. So then he had trouble latching to me. And so when I'm in public, it's like this whole ordeal and the pressure and the sadness and the anxiety that caused me.
Yeah.
A huge thing I would have done differently as a first time mom is I would have just stopped breastfeeding so much sooner.
Totally. I mean, I don't know why. When you were talking, I just had this thought about like cortisol in the body. When we're stressed or anxious or overwhelmed, our body produces more cortisol. What we think that doesn't get passed to the baby.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think certainly, because I know I've talked about it on other episodes, like just letting go of that whole expectation. What's so crazy to me is that you have people that are like, you really should breastfeed, you really should, and da 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 da. And then you've got the other camp coming in, like, just stop breastfeeding. You don't need to breastfeed. It's like it's so much noise, and it's hard it's even hard for me to reconnect with the headspace I was in at the time now, right? Because like I don't have the hormone, I don't have any estrogen, so it's like we don't have any of the hormones, but it's like at that time you can't see things. There's nothing, you're not seeing anything clearly. Like you're not operating, or I wasn't operating out of like a logical set of principles. It wasn't. So to have all this noise and all these voices, and it's like, tried to breastfeed, one nipple was like slightly inverted, couldn't get that one to work, and then and yeah, I agree that how sad, like you were saying, when I gave myself permission to stop, like how sad that we have to look at it like that, where it's not just like I'm gonna do what I feel like as a mother. We have almost like a gut instinct as to what, like we know what's right. We know what's right for us and for the baby. And to second guess that because of societal norms or pressures or expectations is ridiculous.
Yeah. I stopped breastfeeding him when I was still living in Northern California. The pediatrician up there was like, you really need to stop breastfeeding. You need to get on the right medication. My family was like, Jessie, you really got it. And I remember going on a walk, holding the baby, and I was with my husband and we were walking. I was just bawling about the idea of like stopping. I didn't even enjoy it. It was pressure. It was just feeling like I didn't want to be judged. I don't even know. I think I'm also like when you're that deep into postpartum depression, you're not thinking straight.
Exactly.
But then we moved down to Southern California and we go into the new pediatrician's office and it was through Kaiser. And I'll never forget her. She's still practicing. And I said, we have samples. The formula we had to put them on was really expensive, Nutramigen.
Oh yeah.
And I said, do you have samples of Nutramigen? And she goes, well, here, breast is best. And I have been I'm dried up at this point. It was so hard for me to come to that decision. There's no way I can breastfeed him again. So now you're just guilting me. When I tell you I lost my mind in that doctor's office, I started screaming. telling the nurses I want a new pediatrician. I was so, I was irate.
She should lose her license.
I was irate. And I have never caused a scene like that in like a doctor's office. And I started screaming. I was like, you're getting me a new pediatrician. How dare she say that to me? I had such a hard time coming to this conclusion. I'm dried up. I can't even go back if I wanted to.
Right.
It was really like,
It's so damaging. And I mean, did she have kids? Like,
I don't think so.
Actually, how could you say that to a new mom?
It's one of those things where you don't know what this person's going through because you've never been through it.
You don't know what you don't know. And I get that. But even like logically,
don't have this be your profession.
Right. Logically, like if you're dried up and you're not producing milk, you don't say that to someone.
No, it's like she had to like throw it out there. It's like that was their philosophy and you had to say it before you gave me the Nutramigen.
Not helpful.
Not helpful at all. I was so upset. Anyways.
Gosh, I remember Nutramigen. We had to give our first a soy-based formula because she couldn't handle any dairy. And I don't know, especially like with the breast cancer that I got, that it was like estrogen based. I don't know. I don't like that.
We all do the best we can with the knowledge that we have.
And the tools, and the resources we have for sure. But
what else would you have done differently?
Probably something that I'm going to look back in 5 years and say that I should have done differently is just let the mess sit there.
Yeah.
Like let it sit there. Let the bottles pile up unless like you need them. Just
sit and enjoy it more.
And like nothing else needs to matter right now. And it's so easy to say that now again, but it's like in that moment, I didn't have anywhere I needed to be. Now some women do, and I get that. I didn't. I was fortunate that I didn't. I did start working again, seeing clients a few months in, but it was like super, super part-time. Just like I had nothing else I needed to be doing. Why was I so...
Because we have anxiety. We don't know how to just sit and be.
No. I can sit and be now, but then... I think for me, a big part of it was...
In hindsight, we know to just sit and be.
Yes, but I think for me, it was like having, and I remember this this is so silly, but I remember when I got my first dog, Sebastian, it was like, I wanted him. And then I got him and instant, it was like this heaviness of like, I am responsible for that. And he was a puppy. It was weird. It was really weird. And so I think when I had a baby, it was almost that again, where it was like this sense of complete, ultimate responsibility. It's like at the end of the day, I am responsible. That came out of me. Yes, dad is here. My husband's here and he's doing his part. But like, as the mother, argue it if you want, there's just something different.
Oh, 1,000% there's something different. We have a physical reaction. Like you literally start producing milk out of your nipples when the baby cries.
Yeah.
Like you get into the shower and you hear the baby cry, even if the baby's not crying. I don't even remember what that's called. But no, it's 100% different. I remember the first night I brought him home from the hospital. Lots of information, but I was like tore during his delivery. And I had a million stitches. And the very first night I was home with him, he was in whatever he was sleeping in the same room. Or maybe my mom was in the living room with him, but I heard him cry. And I leapt out of that bed to get to him and I tore every single stitch.
Oh my God.
I had to go back in the next day and get all re-stitched up. It was awful, but the dad's not jumping out of the bed at the first sound, like
it's
instinctively.
I didn't do what they can.
Yeah, but I didn't make a conscious choice to like leap out of my bed.
Right.
I just
it's
did.
Involuntary.
It's So
the sound. I remember my daughter crying. Oh my gosh, so many memories. I remember taking her to the ER thinking she had a bowel obstruction at 3 months old because she had colic and I didn't really understand it. And the nurse, this like male nurse in the ER, he's like, see, I'm pushing on her stomach. See, she just pooped. And he pats me on the shoulder and goes, first time, mom? I was like, yes. But anyway, she would cry and a lot of moms, again, and this is the difference between postpartum and not postpartum. One of the differences is I think most moms would hear the baby cry and like jump into action like you did. I guess maybe postpartum you can too, but I froze and my husband looked at me because I just wanted to cry. I was like this, I was so overwhelmed and he was like, you can't just sit there. Like you can't just freeze.
But isn't that fight, flight, or freeze? You were in freeze.
I was so overstimulated. I can't even it was a sense of responsibility and being so overwhelmed and so overstimulated. Like it was unmanageable.
And how old was she at this point?
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
I threw a pillow. I mean, I've thrown pillows. I've lost it. It's like the sleep deprivation and with my son, which I didn't have postpartum with him, thank God, but I did things to mitigate that. I took medication, right? But I remember like it was like 10:15 p.m. and we're in the living room. We had like a little setup when we had babies. We had like this little like my husband would stay up really late and do the overnight and I would sleep and anyway. But I finally got him to go to sleep and I set him in his bassinet or whatever it is. And like we sit down, we're watching like 30 Rock or something. I don't even know what we're watching. And then all of a sudden he starts crying and I was like, I like turned into this like demon. I was like, this is bullshit. And I grabbed a pillow and like threw it at the blinds. And my husband's like, oh my gosh, sleep. Like, I just want to watch my show.
So hard. Yeah.
Some moms who I envy because they're wired differently, they're like, oh, baby.
No, everyone must get frustrated at some point.
I swear some don't. I swear some women don't.
When the episode's over, you can tell me who you're talking about.
I don't have anyone in mind in particular. I'm just saying, like, I feel like there truly are women who, if those types of things are not getting to them, they're okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's getting to them then? Like, they get up multiple times at night and they're like, yeah, I was up a few times, but maybe I'm selfish. I don't know. Part of me wonders, maybe I'm super selfish. It's like, I want you to go to sleep.
No, I think we're just spent.
Yeah.
And we do. We have anxiety. And I think it just
prone
couples on that. And then when you're not sleeping, your anxiety gets worse.
Yes. And depression.
Yeah.
Prone to overwhelm.
I think I would have tried to make the baby just more a part of my everyday.
100%. I would have too.
Yeah. I think with number 2, she had to become more a part of my everyday because I had a toddler. So I couldn't just stop and adhere to like, I felt captive with my first. Like,
same.
I was so scared to leave the house. I was so scared if he cried in public. I was so scared to miss like everything. And with number 2, like I had to go do things. Like I had to strap her in. We had to go to a mommy and me for him. And we had to do things. And I think with him, I wish, and I mean, I had postpartum pretty severely. So, I mean, I give myself grace, but I wish I just tried to like, trying to resume normalcy, a little bit of like just getting out of the house or seeing people. I was so scared to even like go to a coffee shop.
Same. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of women that aren't like that.
There are a lot of women that aren't like
we know
that.
We know people who, you know, they say like, I loved the newborn phase.
Oh yeah, no, not me.
I was terrified of the newborn phase, mainly with my first. A little bit with my, it's a lot. It's a lot.
My husband's super calm and he's always said we would have had a third if they came out at 1 year. Like birth to a year is really hard.
Do you think part of that, and I'm like being serious. Do you think part of that, is because he saw how you.
Yeah, because I was never the wife that was like, listen, you have to go to work. I got the night. I was like, no, listen, I'm up, you're up.
I'm up, you're up.
I'm going to feed the baby. You're going to rock the baby to sleep.
Oh
and
my
he
gosh.
did it. He did it every single time. But my thought, like the thought process of like, well, he has to go to work tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah.
You're like, exactly. He gets to go to work
tomorrow. He gets to go talk to adults. He
have a hot cup of coffee, pee by himself.
Yeah. He gets to hear his own thoughts. He gets to listen to music, like
make himself lunch.
Yeah, I have to keep the baby alive tomorrow. So if you think I don't need sleep, like you're high. Like
that's such a good point.
So I made him wake up every time I woke up. So yeah, he definitely felt the brunt of the first year.
You made him wake up every time he woke up. Was there ever a time you didn't?
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. But like the routine was like I woke up with the baby, I fed the baby, I did everything, and then And I mean, I'm not talking like 8 months old. I'm talking about newborn.
Right.
And then he would change the baby and rock the baby back to sleep. That's a
good
lot.
system.
Well, ask him if he thinks so.
We did I would do up until, it's so cute when you really think about it. I would do up until like 10 or 11, and then he would take like the overnight shift. And we had this whole, it was like this little like station in our living room.
Where you'd like pass off the baby.
Yeah. And then I'd go upstairs and he had his like little machine, like all his, he does music stuff. So he would he made like a little studio, like off of the Chase
With both
lounge.
babies or just number 2?
With both. That's how we did it. We just tag teamed it. And he was very helpful.
Yeah. I don't know. I think those are like the main things for me. And I would have tried to just enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Because looking back, like I'd give anything. I keep saying like, are you sure you don't want to have a third? Because I think I could just be such a calmer mom knowing what I know now. Like it's okay. It's literally just a moment in time.
Yeah.
Where my first time I was like, this is my life now. And this is, I'm doomed.
Oh my gosh. Yes, exactly. I would sit and stare out the window after my first and just feel almost like, I don't want to say suicidal, but like it was almost like it was very, very hopeless. And again, it was all hormones.
Yeah.
But I would think like, it's never going to change. And it's like, yes, Kara, it's going to change. But then the other thought I had was with my first, I took Percocet.
Mm-hmm.
For like whatever the dose, whatever the regimen was that was recommended and normal. But I think that opiates do a number on like mental health, and they cause depression, all this stuff. So with the second one, I was literally like about to deliver, and I told my doctor, she was or he, I don't remember, nurse or whatever. They were like, "What do you want this after?" And I was like, "I don't want an opiate. Do not give me an opiate. I don't want one." And I didn't take one. I was like, I'm not doing it. And I wonder to what extent that played a role in how depressed I was.
Because there's so many different factors. So it's like which one made the whole difference. But yeah, I mean, and maybe the second time around we did better because we've been through it once before. We weren't as scared.
And we knew it was going to change.
But we have a friend who was the opposite.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows what it does to you? But listen, I mean, I know this episode's just about what would we do differently with like a newborn, and there's so many things we could talk about as they get older. But like, yeah, I think for like the newborn stage, just like grace.
Yes.
Giving yours, it's so cliche though. God.
No, but it's like so true.
I know it's cliche for a reason.
Yeah.
But like remove, oh my God, if this is the hill I die on, remove the pressure of breastfeeding.
100%.
Let the mess be.
Mm-hmm.
Just live in the moment, like snuggle that baby, smell that baby, enjoy that baby because that baby's getting older fast.
Every second.
Like my first baby is almost as tall as me.
That's so crazy.
It's so crazy.
I know.
It's so crazy. And it does. It's so cliche, but it happens so quickly. Like I would have loved to do it one more time to just know what I know now and trying to enjoy it in a different way.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how it went a third time around.
And then maybe I'd have postpartum and I'd be like, why did I think I could do this better?
Well, for me, the ship has sailed.
The ship has sailed. The ship has definitely sailed. But for the past 5 years, I was like, are you sure you don't want to go one more time? I'd be such a calmer mom. Because I wasn't. I was anything but calm. But yeah, I hope someone can relate to what we're talking about. I'm sure they can.
I think so.
Let's snuggle those babies.
Snuggle the babies.
But I mean, I will also say, when I see someone else's baby now,
so different.
Super cute to look at.
Yes.
But I don't want any part in that.
You hand them back.
I don't even know if I want you to hand them to me. At all.
And on that note,
I mean, to be honest, it's like someone like, I don't know. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But
down to hold a newborn now. But I was traumatized for a while.
I can hold a newborn, but like I'm also happy to pass the baby back. Like I'm also loving not being in the baby phase.
100%.
I was somewhere the other day. I was at a coffee shop with a friend and I saw this woman come in with her toddler and she had all the things and she was like getting in the stroller, getting him out, getting him this. And I was like, God, I'm happy to not be doing that.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm good where I'm at and I'm glad I did it and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Totally.
But
But I look back at
it's a
pictures
ride.
of them, and I would do anything to snuggle those little faces.
I
So.
know, me too. We watched a video of Sunny. I don't know why I like didn't want to say his name.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be like,
you've said his name so many times.
I'm trying to be confidential all of a sudden. But anyway, we showed Sunny a video of when he was born, like leading up to it.
Oh my
in the
God,
hospital.
he was so cute. I
and,
remember him the second he was born.
So sweet.
So cute.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening.
All right,
everyone.
we did it. I think we did it. Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, guys, here's the deal. If you like what you hear,
And we know you do,
be sure to like, subscribe,
and write us a review.
that rhymes.